Now it's time for Lefties Losing It. Let's start with the wonderful Julia Hartley-Brewer, who has had enough of the excessive demands of the LGBTQIA++ lobby and flat out refused to deliberately mangle the English language to pander to an individual who identifies as a non-binary plural. Enjoy.
Good afternoon, Julia.
Thanks.
You know my pronouns are they, them. How are you doing?
Yeah. Thank you for telling me your pronouns. I use correct grammar, so the only thing I would need to refer you to is to your face would be you. But I'm not being rude. You can choose your pronouns. You can choose what you want to call yourself, but you don't get to require me to use incorrect grammar and factually incorrect things. You're not a plural. You're a one person, and you're a female person. So I will use she and her. Thank you very much.
Do what you like, I guess.
Well, there you are. You didn't need to tell me then, did you?
Maybe I'm just making sure people know in case they're watching and they want to refer to me respectfully.
Is it disrespectful for me to use correct factual grammar?
It's not incorrect or unfactual grammar to use singular they them pronouns for an individual. But we're here to talk about the cast review.
Yeah, but you chose to bring it up.
You chose to use the incorrect pronouns for me.
I chose to use the correct pronouns for a single woman who is appearing on my show.
I'm not a single woman, though. I'm a very special non-binary trans person, as you just pointed out. I
didn't
really
just point that out.
Proud.
I didn't just point that out. I introduced you as a journalist and a Virgin Radio presenter.
No, just before I came on, you were talking about how people with all these labels like to be special. And I'm just making sure that everyone knows I'm special.
Oh, love, you ain't special. You're just a giant irritating pain in the butt. And talking about irritating, self-delighted lefties, let's have a look at MSNBC's Nicole Wallace, whose Trump derangement syndrome is causing her to sound a little bit fascist.
So you believe his policies, just what he said out loud, let alone what he does if he's there again, are catastrophic, that his foreign policy that he carried out while you were there was corrupt. What is your plan for making sure he's never president?
What is your plan for making sure Trump is never president? Yikes, lady, we normally let the people decide. That's how democracy works. Or does it? Let's get a definition from the Veep. Take it away, Kamala.
It's important to see that, you know, the nature of democracy, there's a duality to it. It has two sides to it. On the one hand, there's incredible strength, right? That when a democracy is intact, what it does for its people, in terms of the strength it gives its people and protects in terms of individual freedoms and rights, right? And liberties. There's an incredible strength in that, what it does for its people when it is intact. On the other hand, democracy, extraordinarily fragile.
Yeah.
It's only as strong as our willingness to fight for it. That's by nature what a democracy is. It is about the people.
The most incoherent person in the White House, and that includes the 80-year-old with obvious cognitive decline. Now, this clip I call instant karma. He is a Berkeley professor. He gets a taste of his own medicine, a taste of the craziness leftist academics have unleashed on society. He invited law students to his home, and then they refused to leave, started doing a protest and calling everyone Zionists.
Not only from material substance, that's not only from material substance. We have attorneys. We have attorneys.
Okay, you don't have to get aggressive.
Excuse me.
I'm not.
Please leave our house. You are guests at our house.
This is our First Amendment right.
No,
This
this is my house.
Now let's enjoy this classic from Army Horowitz, who'll be joining me in a second. He talked to some lefty folk who seem to think black people are too poor or too stupid to get ID. What a wildly racist point of view, but it's one that has been normalised by the Democrats. Watch this clip for the liberal white folk perspective, followed by black folk who know better.
Do you have an opinion on voter ID laws?
Yeah, they're usually pretty racist and they're bad.
I think voter ID laws are a way to perpetuate racism.
Do you think it suppresses the African American vote?
Definitely, because they're less likely to have state IDs.
You can always get IDs you do over the internet. Does that also make it difficult for black people in particular?
Yeah, you have to have access to the internet. You have to be able to pay an internet service provider for certain fees.
Do you think that's harder for black people to go online?
Well, I feel like they don't have the knowledge of how it works.
Now I'm here in East Harlem to ask black people their thoughts on what you just heard. Do you carry ID?
Yes, I do.
Do you know any black person who doesn't carry ID?
No. Why would they think we don't have ID?
That's a lie. Why would they say that?
Do you have ID?
Yes.
Everybody that I know have ID. Like, that's one of the things you need to walk around with New York with.
Do you have a problem if when you go to vote, if they say, "Could we please just see your ID to make sure you are who you say you are"? Do you have an issue with that?
No.